Well, breaking right now, Eileen Cannon has put a little wrench in that plan to throw Donald Trump in jail, to go after him as Jack Smith is trying to do on these federal charges. Take a look. Ooh, the lefty media is really mad about this. Here's the headline coming to us out of NBC. Eileen Cannon makes procedural moves that help Donald Trump again. As he faces July sentencing in New York, the presumptive GOP nominee got good news in his other 3 criminal cases this week. And the reporter writes that U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon keeps using her vast discretion over the docket to Donald Trump's benefit. She added a new dimension to that approach this week, further confirming that the former president won't face trial in Florida this year. Perhaps more importantly, he writes, the Trump appointee's latest maneuvers call into even more significant question how she'd handle any trial that happens in the classified documents case if one ever happens now. If one ever happens now. All right, so the latest moves, he writes, stem from a claim that has nothing to do with the charges themselves. The far-fetched defense argument that special counsel Jack Smith's appointment and funding are unlawful. Well, hang on, wait a second. Because if Jack Smith's funding and appointment are unlawful, then why would you be going forward with all of these cases, right? Like, wouldn't that actually stop everything? So just common sense would tell you, if you don't have that worked out, you can't move forward with the other stuff. It's like what's happened down in Georgia, right? Fani Willis getting some bad news. It looks like October 4th is the big day for Fani because the appeals court has just said we're going to move forward with this. Now, it may not be resolved before the election, and therefore they can't move forward with everything they'd like to do to Donald Trump down in Fulton County, Georgia. But in other words, you've got to say, wait a second, should Fani have ever even had this gig to begin with? If Fani was doing things that Fani shouldn't have been doing, you get my drift, right? Well, the same thing with Jack Smith. If Jack Smith was unlawfully appointed, unlawfully funded, then how can you move forward with those cases? It's the cart before the horse, right? And they get mad. I mean, that is, I believe, not a commentary piece. I believe that is a straightforward news piece on NBC News, and they're not hiding it. Normally, like, there's a big thing, like it says commentary. Like, by the way, this is a commentary show. It is my opinion. I try to make sure we are as accurate as possible. That's why I did you the favor on the Normandy stuff. I try, right? And you're going to hear all sides as much as possible. But you're also going to hear my point of view. And you know that. You know what you're getting. But what's troubling, and I'll tell you, this is troubling when you think about AI and where everything's going, when they start to present opinion as fact, and only one side is in charge. Well, what happens to our future? What happens to our history? You've already seen it, for goodness sakes, all the goofs that AI has had. In fact, we were poking around on the internet just before the show, looking at who in recent history had defined a subpoena and wound up in jail or wound up just, getting off the hook. And we got 3 names: Eric Holder, Lois Lerner, and Steve Bannon. And it's like Peter Navarro didn't even exist. It's like, wait a second, guys. He defied it, and he actually wound up in jail, but somehow that didn't make its way to ChatGPT. So I'm only saying you got to have some concerns about what they're doing right now and how they're manipulating and affecting history.